Hi YouTube. Welcome back to Brown Girl Blue. My name is Tabitha, and on this channel I am talking about my childhood Jehovah's Witness memories. The memory I want to talk about today is that competition that was said and also unsaid when you had to out scripture each other, where it was clearly not about wanting to know about God or getting that, just getting the feeling of being closer to God, but it really became this kind of like a debate team of who could prove that they knew more scripture than the other person. I remember at Sunday meetings. So those of you who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses maybe watching this, Jehovah's Witnesses, they go to the Kingdom meetings, the Kingdom Hall meetings on Sunday, which is, similar to I shouldn't say similar, but it's like when you go to church on Sundays, Jehovah's Witnesses also go to their religious meeting places on Sundays. And you have the regular talk or sermon, except it's talk or sermon, some type of topic that's chosen. And then after that main talk, the second portion of that service is something called a Watchtower study. And a Watchtower is a publication by Jehovah's Witnesses that has Bible or scripture stories or scripture articles in it, and it's study material. And so you're supposed to study it before you come to that week's service, and then you have questions that you look for the answers to and be prepared to talk and comment on those questions at this Watchtower study meeting. And so I remember as a kid, your parent gives you, like when you're really young, your parent will give you the answer, usually a simple answer, and you raise your hand and somebody comes on with a mic and you ask a question, you feel all proud because, I got the answer, and everyone's so proud of you because you're giving the answers at this meeting. But as you get older, at least for me, my experience, as I got older, I noticed that it was people just out scripturing each other and really wanting to give the best response, to give the best answer to the question that was asked from the podium. And so I just had this sense of where having a feeling of, am I good enough? Was I good enough? And getting that confirmation or validation from my parents or other adult Jehovah's Witnesses who would come up to you after the meetings. Oh, that was such a wonderful response you gave. Oh, I could tell your parents are studying well with you. You're such a good. I forget what they call it. You're just telling me that you're doing really good. Like, we just really love the answers that you're giving, and we just really enjoy your responses. And just to get that type of reward, like the reward system in your brain where you feel like really good that someone's praising you for something, and then you want to do better the next week to get that praise. And so I found as we get older and you start to see that even the adults are doing it. Everyone's trying to give the perfect response to be seen as the most spiritual and the most have the most knowledge in their scripture ability, to be able to quote scripture and to do it better than the next person. So it almost feels like high school. You know how you have a mean girl or boy, or just a mean clique, to where you be part of the popular group, and the popular group are the ones who really knows a lot of scripture and can just pop off a Bible verse like nobody's business, and to be able to give the best answers at the Watchtower studies, or if they give a talk, giving the best talk, or if giving a prayer, giving really good prayers. So speaking of prayers, my dad was an elder, and he would always get praised for his end of meeting prayer, which is interesting because prayer is supposed to be between you and God. But I just remember, and it wasn't like a one-off. Like he was like known for his prayers. Like I remember he would pray And as soon, like say if have the talk, and then a watchtower study, and then there's a song, and then ended the meeting prayer. And I remember people would be more enamored over my dad's prayer than the topic of the talk. Like they would just be like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a good prayer, and that was such a spiritual prayer," and like, "Oh, that was that was just a beautiful prayer," and so just it's almost like this competition to be spiritual, like overly spiritual, to where it's not even about God anymore. It's about how a person presents themselves to other people, to be highly honored amongst each other, and just everyone's propping each other up and giving each other praise for their works. And I just remember growing up under that and always feeling like I wasn't quite good enough. Like I remember when I would give an answer in either family Bible study, because they also did family Bible studies as well with other families in their home. Then they started doing it more so in the Kingdom Hall. When I was really young, I remember all the Bible studies would be in someone's home. So let's say you have like 3 or 5 or 6, well, I don't know if it's 5, but maybe 3 or 4 families would meet with their kids, and everyone would go to somebody else's home that was a Jehovah's Witness, and they would have family Bible studies together. When I noticed that kind of transition to where the Bible study was brought back to the Kingdom Hall, the meeting place with their witnesses. But even in those settings, I would give answers, and you could just kind of sense if it was good enough. And and that affected me. Even now, after almost 30 years of being away from that, even when I'm at work and I give a response, I still have this little bit of like feeling a certain kind of way, like almost like, was that good enough? Like, did people fully understand the intent of what I was trying to communicate? So just having that external feedback of you're not quite meeting the mark, where you're not, it's always a sense of maybe you could do a little bit better, or if you just gave one more scripture to support your answer, or how eloquent of a response can you give with lots of words, and and just really having a really flowery response that just proves to others that you're really spiritual, you're very scriptural, and you almost give this performance. That's the right word. It was a performance. Like, who can outperform the other person, or it becomes a competition. And that was just really hard for me, because I always felt like I didn't measure up. I felt like I didn't give a good enough answer. And that was even validated to me when I wasn't allowed to get baptized the first time, where I felt I gave good answers, and before I found the real reason why I didn't get baptized, at that moment I thought, oh gosh, I guess I wasn't good enough. I didn't give enough. I should have gave 4 scriptures instead of 2. I should have pondered a little bit more. I should have shown them that I can reason using the scripture support. Like I can really hold a Bible reference conversation where I can just pop off, 4 or 6 scriptures by memory, and be able to do that with great confidence. And I always felt that if I didn't do that, maybe you're not quite spiritual enough. You need to do a little bit more to really meet where we think you should be. So there was in my experience just a bit of a kind of that mean girl, or mean boy, or whatever, just a mean clique environment, to where you had to measure up. And if you didn't measure up, you were made to feel that you weren't quite good enough and you didn't meet the mark. It's almost like to weaponize spirituality, to weaponize what we think you should be, and you just being yourself isn't quite enough to what we're looking for. So what I've done is, taken some time for me to fully evaluate that experience. And, I've talked before about the effects of therapy and having someone to talk that out with, to see that you do have value. In fact, one of my affirmations that I have right here in front of my computer and on my computer desk is, I have value. And I look at that statement and say, oh, that's right, I do. I have value. I am enough. I'm okay. Yeah, I have something to offer, and I don't have to be like the other person. I can just be me. I can have goals that I want to reach for, but I can also just be me and be happy with me and to love me. So, if you're feeling that way, just remember it's okay to be you, and you don't have to compare yourself with anyone else or let anyone or allow anyone to make you feel less than, because you're not. You're not less than. You are highly valued. And that's something that we need to remember. I remind myself every day that I have value, and so do you. Now, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I will post another video tomorrow. But until then, thank you for watching Brown Girl Blue, particularly going through and remembering some of my childhood memories of being raised in a Jehovah's Witness household. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.